Tennessee WildCast is live on the air with the latest on hunting, fishing, boating, and all things outdoors. Make welcome your host, drummer and outdoor expert novice, Jason Harmon.
All right, hello everybody and welcome to this edition of Tennessee WildCast. I'm Jason Harmon and excited to be here in Region 4 today. We're at the Region 4 office in Morristown, Tennessee, and we've got some special folks with us today. Mr. Matt Cameron's going to be co-hosting with me today. Thanks for being with us, Matt.
Glad to be back.
Thanks for letting me be in your area for a few days. And
welcome to God's country.
Yeah. Excited to be here at Region 4, and we have Miss Becky Hensley and Shelia Dalton with us today. How are you ladies doing?
Good.
Well,
Good. They make sure things happen right around here at the Region 4 office, and they're going to talk to us today about a little bit behind the scenes of Region 4. So, and I'm really excited about what's behind this Holston General Store, which is really cool. So let's kick it off with talking about what's behind us and how this came together, and then we'll jump into some of this information that the ladies know all about.
Well, for those of you who had been to the Region 4 office in the past couple of decades, you probably don't recognize the room that we're in right now. The carpet was, what color would you all describe the carpet?
Pepto-Bismol.
That's about as close as we can get to it.
Pepto-Bismol, okay.
And it's pretty hideous in here, cinder block walls and an ugly room. We did the best we could, but at any rate, we had the money and the time, the manpower to renovate it, and this behind me was kind of an idea of Dan Gibbs for the most part. We kind of dreamed it up together, and he's the one that actually made it happen. Though he took my vision, our vision, and turned it into what you see today. So it's kind of to highlight the history of the agency from the Tennessee Game and Fish Commission, 1949. Which became the TWRA in 1974. So it's just to honor the traditions of the agency in a neat way.
So tell us a little bit about some of the history of some of the pieces and stuff. I know some of this wood is new, but some of it's not so new. The beams
that you see here came out of an old barn on Lick Creek, WMA.
Okay.
I think some of them were actually old wormy chestnuts, so that's kind of cool. The tin and stuff was taken from another building on the WMA, and the doors and windows came out of antique shops, except for the windows on this next building down here, which we're not sure what we're going to call it. It's been suggested several things, but those came out of Jason Harmon's house. Is that correct?
Yeah, they sure did. So I'm thinking like Harmon's Corner or something like that.
And we had an old, Don might remember, the old chief of law enforcement, wasn't he Bob Harmon? So that's what people would think if we called it Harmon.
Oh,
so,
yeah, that's true.
I'm kidding.
We'll come up with something else. Wildcast something. I don't know. We'll figure it out. All right. Well, it's pretty cool. It's an awesome set. It's a great backdrop, and it's a great opportunity for folks to come in here and see this, and it makes the hunter ed classes that happen in here and stuff a little more exciting. And I'm excited to see what's going to happen in the rest of the room.
We got big plans if we can get the money and the time to finish it. We've got a lot of ideas what we want to do, but this was kind of the first phase of it. And Sheila will tell you, the carpet that we're sitting on right now, how much sleep did you lose over it?
Months.
Still recovering.
I still have
I am
nightmares.
too. That was the worst part, was just getting carpet put in this place. It's one of those state contract things, if you can imagine. But at any rate, we're proud of it, and we're glad to be here doing this WildCast.
Yeah. Well, it's amazing. We say this all the time, but the talent that we have throughout the state and with our agency folks. They may be biologists, but then they've got the handyman traits too, and they can make stuff happen for a little bit of money, not a lot of, save some money here and there, and you see that behind us. So, all right, let's get started here. Let's talk with Miss Becky and Sheila. They're here every day in the Region 4 office, and so what are those hours every day here in Region 4?
Our hours are Monday through Friday, 8 to 4:30, and that is Eastern time.
Okay.
We don't close for lunch. There's always someone in the front office to wait on customers, answer the phones, whatever's needed.
Awesome. And you're in a new role, I guess we could say.
Yes.
Recently, we did some reorganization, and now the regional admin is Miss Shelia Dalton. So
Yes.
Tell us about how you got to that point.
Well, there was reorganization. I would have never expected this.
Right.
I've been with the agency 38 years and in the admin secretary role. With the reorganization, I did apply for the regional administrator when John Gregory retired.
Right.
And here I am. I
Yeah.
got it in January and learning every day.
Yeah.
She was the first one across the state
Yes.
to be promoted into that role, and it's something we were very, very proud of. This place would shut down if it weren't for Shelia Dalton. The doors would literally close. I always called her Minerva, the Roman goddess of wisdom, the Wizard of Oz.
That's not
She's
what you
got-
call me, Matt.
No, we can't say that on air. We'll talk about that later. But we're very blessed to have both of these ladies, and we just want to recognize her
Thank you.
promoting into that
Thank you.
much needed and much earned role.
Yeah, congratulations. And then since you left an admin secretary role, we had to bring in Miss Becky to fill that.
We brought
fill
Miss
your shoes
Becky.
there.
Yeah.
Yes.
So how are you enjoying that?
I love it. Yeah, I've got a lot to learn with her 38 years of experience and wisdom. So I go to Sheila a lot. She's a big help.
And if you're familiar with our website, TWRA.org, and you go on there and you check out the elk cam, Miss Becky normally is the one moving it around and keeping it on the elk.
Yep, they're on there right now.
She doesn't say the elk, bring the elk, or
Yeah.
elk in or
Call
now.
them in.
She can't call them in, but when they're there, she's got the camera on them.
Yeah.
So we appreciate that.
Awesome job with it.
So let's talk about some of the main duties that y'all have here in the office. Being a regional admin, there's probably a lot to that. So tell us a little bit about what you do on a normal day.
Well, with this position, I serve as a political liaison for Region 4.
Okay.
And Region 4 is the eastern 21 counties of East Tennessee. So it's basically Knox County, Loudoun County, east, all the way up to Sullivan County. So if someone calls and they need to speak with someone, it's my job to try to make sure they get to the correct person. Help them in any way I can. I also supervise the ladies up front, and I am the facilitator.
Okay. I like that.
Just made that up.
Yeah.
But taking care of the buildings
Yeah.
and the grounds and just
Right.
maintenance.
Because this is the place that the public sees. They come
It
here
is,
and
yes.
and this is the face of the agency in this area, and want to look the best we can.
Exactly.
So Becky, as in your role, you're up front as people come in the door. What do you do mainly during the day?
Well, I served as a secretary for 6 years, so I was on the front lines up there handling the customers and the customers' calls. So I've moved back now to the admin position, and I'm Sheila's secretary, and also handle some payroll and just in-office staff things that come up. But
Okay.
still answer a lot of phone calls.
And let's don't leave everybody else out. Who all's up front when they come in the door? Who are they going to see?
We have Amber. Amber has been with us since May, I think.
Yeah.
We have Judy, and Judy has been with us for, 30.
Over 35 years.
Almost as long as
35
you,
years.
huh?
Yes,
Wow.
yes. And Jackie, she has been here almost
6 years.
6 years. Christina just got promoted to procurement officer, and we have one secretary position that will be filled hopefully in about 2 weeks.
All
We're
right.
excited about that.
Yes, we're very excited.
Yeah, you get shorthanded when folks are
Yeah.
missing.
Since January,
Since-
we've been
yes.
shorthanded. Yeah, so we'll finally be fully staffed. We're excited.
So you're liable to talk to any of these folks when you call in, these ladies, and but they all know what they're talking about, and they're here to help you as a customer and as a public sportsman, wildlife watcher. They're here to help. So, well, let's see, what can a customer get done when stopping by the regional office? There's a lot of stuff that you can do online these days via the app or tmwildlife.org, but there's a lot of stuff that folks still like to come to a brick and mortar location. So let's talk a little bit about that. You can come buy your hunting fishing license, do initial boat registrations. Let's go down the list here and just talk a little bit about some of that stuff. So whoever wants to take charge on this one,
Okay.
hunting licenses.
Okay. We sell all the hunting and fishing license along with wildlife management area permits. And we do the initial boat registrations, which that is after a customer goes to their county clerk's office. they can come by here with their application for boat certificate, and we can get that processed. And luckily, we have a clerk's office less than a mile down the road, so that comes in handy because a lot of customers come in and bring in a bill of sale and think we can take care of that, but they're unaware that they have to go to the clerk's office first. So it's real convenient to have that right there.
Cool.
And we can do boat renewals. We do lifetime license. We sell a lot of those. Those require, we get a lot of customers calling in. They have to have a copy of the child's birth certificate, a copy of one of the parents' driver's license, and they have to know the child's social. As long as they've got that information, a family member can actually come in here and purchase that license for a child.
And you say child, but there's lifetime licenses for every age group, right?
Yeah, all the way up.
But most of the time it is for
it's
for
it's
three
for
and under. They hop in there and get that $300 good
because
deal.
$200, I mean, you can't beat that, and that's a good.
Deal.
That's a good investment there. We also do boating safety, hunter safety information, general information on our lakes, wildlife management areas, just a lot of questions on rules and regulations as well.
And all that can be found in our guide, and there's phone numbers in there for some of these WMAs as well. If you if you want to call directly and talk to those managers.
The managers listed in the guide.
So all right, so a lot of information, a lot of things can be done here at the office as well online and that kind of thing. So I want to mention the location. We haven't said where we are and where we're located. I know we said Morristown, but we're right on the water here at the Region 4 office. So let's give everybody an address or a location that they can come to if they want to stop by.
We're located at 3030 Wildlife Way here in Morristown. The bad part of that is a lot of GPS directions send people across the bridge.
Oh, really?
Into the next adjoining county, and then they turn around and come back. So.
They miss it. Happens all the time.
Well, that's
You can
fun.
see the lake that way.
Yeah. So talk about the lake. What's nearby here?
It's Cherokee
Cherokee.
Lake.
Cherokee.
Yeah,
Okay.
would have been the Holston River. That's where we got the name for the general store, the Holston General Store.
Okay.
We envisioned it, years ago, a place where hunters and fishermen and trappers might have stopped in and picked up some supplies.
Yeah, that's cool. So the Holston River is right here and Cherokee Lake, right?
Correct.
Okay.
When it's flooded.
So there's a lot of, I guess there's boat ramps out here and access to the water nearby the
yeah.
office. And
Yeah.
when the trees are, the leaves are off the trees,
Yeah.
you can see the water, see the lake.
Got a
from
winter
there.
view of the water, don't we?
Yeah, a lot of customers come in there. Well, we've never been back here. This is beautiful. So a lot of customers, they're kind of missing it. They need to come check out the office.
And Becky literally lives a quarter of a mile away?
Yeah, I got a long drive.
So if it's a weekend, we can get services.
Well, I
come over here and you can
have
let us in.
done
Cell
it.
phone
Yes,
number.
I have.
Call her.
What's the gate code? Come let me in. Yeah, I get a lot of that.
All right. So something else that happens a lot in this room is hunter ed classes. Talk about the hunter education program. There's some age limits and that kind of thing. Let's fill the folks in on that.
Okay. Hunter education is ramping up right now because we've got deer and bear opening up soon. So we're getting a lot of calls on that, and a lot of classes are available right now. If you're born after January 1st, 1969, it's required to have hunter safety. A child can take it at 9, but it's required at 10.
Okay.
We have traditional courses, and that is a free course. It's sometimes 4 or 5 nights. Some instructors have them 2 Saturdays. Just depends on the instructor. And so that class is free, and that includes a live fire, and they get their hunter safety certificate and their card. The field day course, they go online to do that, and that's all this information's on the website, where to find a traditional course, where to find a field day. So they, they'll go online. They'll take the online course. That's about $30. And then after they complete the course, then they sign up for a field day, and that's usually at the John Sevier Range in Knox County. And they'll take that online form to the field day and do the live fire and receive their hunter safety certification. The third option that we've got is a field day exemption. That's if you're over 21. You can do the online course, and there at the end of the course there is an application. It's $13 for that application. You fill that out, you fax, email, or come by the regional office here, and we can get your hunter safety card and certificate.
Okay.
And that exempts you from having to do the live fire.
We really encourage folks to take the hunter ed course, but
Yeah.
if you want to do that exemption, it is there for folks 21 years and older.
And there's also an apprentice hunting license. If you can't get into a class, you can get an apprentice hunting license at anywhere it sells a license or online, and it's $12. That exempts you for a year from the date of purchase, but you have to be with an adult 21 years of age or older who has met the hunter safety requirements or are exempt from that.
Okay. So they can take over the gun or something
Yeah.
and be there, be in control if something happens. All right, awesome. And, yeah, like you said, all this information is on our website, TNWildlife.org.
Great explanation of it, though some people, it's overwhelming. So
Right.
Having explained to them.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah, real good. And then, TNWildlife.org or in our hunting guide, you can still find that information. And like she said, online is a great resource. Easy to punch in your zip code and find a class near you.
Yeah, very easy.
All right. So we've already talked about the general store. What's some other calls you get sometimes that off the wall or crazy stuff you've heard?
One that stands out in my mind was from a funeral home, and they were having a funeral later that afternoon. They were calling because there was a skunk in the gravesite, and they didn't know how to get the skunk out before it was time for the service.
All right.
So they were calling, trying to find out what to do. We just told them to put a plank in the hole,
Yeah.
in hopes
And he'll
that it
walk
would
out.
walk out.
Right.
You know, if they could bait nearby at the top, so that the skunk, if it was hungry or whatever, could smell the food to come out.
So what happened? Do you know?
You never hear.
No.
You never hear. You just
Must have
make
worked
up your
out.
own ending.
And so that could be that might be considered a nuisance animal, and I'm sure you get a lot of nuisance animal calls. How do we take those calls? How do we direct those folks?
We get well over 100 calls a day, easy. It's skunks, raccoons, even squirrels, bats,
Coyotes.
and yes, depending on the time of the year, it kind of varies. But we have 1 to 2 wildlife officers per county. So really, there's no way one person or even 2 people can handle all of the calls that come in. We do have nuisance damage control operators, and these are people that are permitted through the state of Tennessee to operate a business, to remove or relocate or trap whatever needs to be done to help with the issue. Sometimes it's a hole under the crawl space and an animal's getting in. Sometimes it can be bats in the roof. It could be anything.
Right. And Matt, you were an officer for many years, and I'm sure you got calls. And if you're nearby, the officer sometimes would go check on it and try to help some people out. But normally, you don't have the time. You're so busy as an officer.
Full-time animal damage control agents, if that was something that we had to handle as an agency. But fortunately, we do license people to do that. So they are very good at sending someone to a website where they can choose a certified animal damage control agent of their choice to come out, and they explain to them that it's something you have to pay for, and there's a fee involved with it in trapping, or they explain the options that you can do it yourself if you're willing to get a trap and try it. But usually you're better off leaving stuff like that to the experts.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Animals are smart. You know, you may think, oh, it's going to be easy to catch them, but you're only educating them, and then it gets harder and harder after that once they figure out your tricks. So.
So I'm sure you get a lot of calls on bears as well. This is the region for bear. You know.
Yeah.
We can track bears just by the phone because people are calling because they've saw them. And we get a lot of those calls.
And explain, we have dispatch here. Can you talk about having our dispatcher here in the office and how calls filter to them?
Once a call comes in, we try to get all of the information we can on where the bear is located, where it's been sighted, whatever. If it's just a sighting, they're wanting to know, we'll take that information and pass it on to the officer. If it's a problem where the bear is causing damage or issues, we will pass it to either the dispatcher, especially if the bear's there at that time, or take a message and ask the officer to call that person to respond.
I know Dan would probably appreciate it if we mentioned the online form for bear sightings. He likes to people to use that and fill that form out, and that's on twildlife.org, and you can go there and punch that in. But if if something's going on that's going to harm somebody, we want to know about it.
Absolutely.
So that'd be a good idea to call.
Right
So.
then.
All right, let's see what else we got on our list. Wild hogs, landowner exemptions. You get the calls on that quite a bit.
Yeah, this goes back to some nuisance calls that we get. Some landowners, if they have trouble with wild hogs, they can call here and we can issue them a free exemption. They can have up to 10 designees on that exemption. So it's, pretty quick and easy, no charge for that over the phone. Another thing that we get is large cat calls here in East Tennessee. We've not had any documented sightings of mountain lions, cougars, panthers, so we get a lot of calls that people see those, and that's exciting stuff to think that you're seeing those large cats. But more times than not, it's a bobcat. I got an email yesterday, and it was this person thought it was a mountain lion, but it turned out to be. I forwarded. Anything we get, we forward on to our biologist for them to look at, but it was a bobcat. So we just kind of urge customers or the call-ins to, if they see something like that, put a trail camera out, try to get a picture, send that to us, and we'll be happy to take a look at that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. It would be neat to see a large cat. People get excited about it and think, oh man, I found something nobody else has seen. But
according to the public, we have thousands of them in East Tennessee. But
we get a lot.
Never actually documented one. And
we can say we've confirmed some sightings in Middle Tennessee and Humphreys County area.
Correct.
And until we can confirm them, we can't.
That's it. Never say never kind of guy. They are, moving, and I think they have like a 100-mile home range or something. So, they're going to go somewhere, and could one pass by and someone see it legitimately? Sure. But as far as a population of them living and breeding, there's not one. And there may be at some point one of these days, but they're just not here right now.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit more about some of the crazy questions. There's got to be one that come across, Becky, that stands out in your mind. Sheila's had the funeral home call.
Well, we get a lot of interesting calls. Some of those I can't mention on here, but there's been through the years for the first, because when I first started 6.5 years ago, I didn't really know anything about the agency, so it was kind of learn as you go. For the first few months, I thought every call was a joke. So I would put them on hold, and I'd be like, are they for real? Do they really want to know this? Yeah. So it took me a while just to kind of get in the rhythm of it. And now, it's just, but I had a gentleman call Friday, and he said he woke up this morning and he had no squirrels in his yard, none. And they disappeared overnight, and wanted me to tell him where his squirrels went. So I said, sir, I can't tell you where your squirrels are. And he kept persisting, and I said, well, have you found any, dead on your property? No, I haven't found any. And I said, well, tried to explain, well, it's nature, we don't. He said, no, I want to know. So sometimes, you try. I can't tell him why squirrels aren't there. So
Twilight Zone.
Yeah. So, and, I've had callers call in, I've been at Douglas. Why I was here last year. Why aren't the fish biting this year? I don't know why the fish aren't biting this year. So, they just see something in the yard, or whether squirrel, rabbit, and they call and they, well, what about this? So, we try to give the best answers that we can, but sometimes we don't know. So that's when we kind of, do our best to answer the customer's calls, because that's why we're here at Region 4. We want to provide good customer service. But if we can't answer the question, we'll get it to one of the biologists or one of the officers, and they'll take care of it.
Yeah. And you're always welcome to, and we take a lot of questions on Facebook and all the social media platforms.
That's growing.
And we're answering those all the time, and you're welcome to send in your questions there. And we, like she said, we actually, if I get a question, I'll reach out to a biologist or an officer or something to try to get the right answer for them. And if I can't find it, normally the website, a lot of times the website, it has the answers.
It does.
But one of my favorites are when we get the calls that they want us to settle a bet.
Oh, yeah.
And we get a lot of those.
Yeah. We're on speakerphone, and, it's fun.
Yes, and those are fun.
Yeah.
Those are fun.
So
You're going to make someone mad.
Do you get a cut of the bet? Do you get part of it?
Yeah, we need to start asking that.
We need a brokerage fee here or something.
Yes.
So let's highlight the seasons real quick before we run out of time. There's a lot of seasons coming up, and we don't have these right in front of us, but, deer season's around the corner. September 22nd is when that opens up, but dove season's underway right now. A lot of small game opportunities out there. Bear season's going to gear up pretty soon. And
Actually, this weekend's that new hunt?
Special hunt and reserves.
yeah,
See
so
how that goes.
if you want to find more dates and times on these, when they open up, TNWildlife.org, right?
That's
And
the go-to.
The hunting guide, and we always keep the hunting guide updated online, most current version. If there's something that might get printed wrong in the paper copy, we're going to make sure that gets updated on the website.
Absolutely.
And keep you all up to date. Matt, anything you want to throw in about what's going on here in Region 4? Anything else you want to add? I know you're always doing public
PR
meetings
work,
and PR work and stuff like that.
I had a good youth dove hunt this past weekend in Washington County on the farm of Carl Cox. He's passed away, but his son and his grandson put it on now in his honor, and it went spectacular. There were doves flying everywhere, and a lot of kids had never even hunted before, and just slinging lead everywhere, and ended up with one little dove just made their day to even take one bird home. So
that's awesome.
That went good.
I'm sure you talk to all these different schools and different, go to these different things and speak, and I'm sure they really appreciate that.
I'm the guy for that, for the bone box programs. We show pelts and skulls and all the stuff inside the schools or whatever. And PR work's mostly what I do, but I enjoy what I do right now.
So if you want to know more about what's going on in Region 4, you can call this office. What's the phone number?
423-587-7037.
Okay, and then you can find that also on our website, tnwildlife.org. But call in and you can ask for any of these guys. They'll help you out. And, if you want to have a bone fur box show, call Matt. He can bring it out and educate a little bit. But he don't mind that at all. So anyway, we appreciate y'all listening. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you, gals, for being on, and you did great. So you don't have to be nervous.
It's over now.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in, and Matt, thanks for co-hosting with me.
Hey, it's been a blast. Hope we do it again.
Yeah, we will. And we'll see you all next time here on Tennessee WildCast.
Thanks for tuning in. Stay connected with TWRA by visiting our website at tnwildlife.org and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Hey, it's all about Tennessee wildlife. It's what we do. Tennessee WildCast will be on the air again next week. We'll see you then.